Hello. This is a video I have been waiting to film since 2022 because clearly I am listing 10 of my favorite solo songs by members of BTS. Now, big old disclaimer right now because I want to make this abundantly clear. There is no right or wrong answer to this. And I really firmly mean that because I feel like people who are fans of BTS, or maybe you've just discovered a member's individual music, we are so lucky because I feel like it is very rare that you have a group where literally every member releases like solid music. For me personally, every single member of BTS released music that I genuinely enjoyed. So I am basing my top 10 off of strictly the official album releases because RM, J-Hope, and Suga all released mixtapes before being given like the company green light to release an official album. So I figured I should just base this off of anything that was released from 2022 on when it was like officially announced that solo work was going to be like coming from. Let's get started. Number 10 is from RM's Indigo, and that is All Day. All Day was actually a track that I know for a fact I have listened to a ton over the past year. And honestly, I really, really enjoy Indigo. I love that it's definitely a collaborative album. There's features on every track, but they all feel like their own thing in their own zone, but they're all done incredibly well. I genuinely think the reason why I like All Day so much is because it's a high rotation song on my workout playlist, but not only do I just love how upbeat and fun it is, but honestly, it's Tableau's verse. Tableau's verse is really, really good, and I love his tone of voice. And I feel like that actually is the part of the song that steals the spotlight a bit, but I love that. I feel like RM really wanted his features to shine on the album, and that definitely happened. Number 9 is from... Number 9 is from Face, Jimin's album. And I was so happy when Jimin released an album. I will talk about it more later on, but the song is Face Off. I listen to Face Off a lot. I can't say that for every song because I listen to every song a lot. But Face Off was such a wonderful opener for me. Like to hear Jimin as like soloist Jimin beyond his solo songs with BTS. I love the harmony. Like, I love that there is some angst in it, in the delivery. Like, it's a very powerful chorus, and I absolutely adore the layered up vocals and harmonies throughout the whole track. Like, it really set the tone for Face, and I think it also, for me, really established Jimin's tone as like soloist Jimin. And I definitely think he pushed himself vocally a lot on that track. So I just find myself going back to it very often. Number 8 is D-Day by Suga. Talk about opening tracks. This is a banger. I thoroughly enjoy the D-Day album. I also really liked D2, his mixtape. Could not include any of those songs, but D-Day has been, as an album as a whole, very, very high rotation for me. But I do think that D-Day as a title track is just one of the best pump up songs. I feel renewed anytime I listen to it. It really just kind of gets me in a good, positive, I can take on the world headspace. And mind you, like, it is definitely a mostly Korean track on the verses. I've looked up translations, but even before I did that, I was just like, between the music and the words I do understand, this song is meant to make you like get up and get going. And I really, really feel like it is such a in your face in the best way opening track for an album. Number 7 is from the crooner V, and that is Slow Dancing. So when I was waiting for V's album to be released, and I remember discussing it with other people, and I very confidently said, I just know he's gonna do something that's a bit more R&B. I feel like it's gonna be more chill, maybe got some like soul sort of vibe to it. And literally that is exactly what he did. And I think it's perfect for him. It suits his whole aura and his tone of voice beautifully. And Slow Dancing really hit the mark the most out of all the tracks for me. I feel like between the music break in it, it just feels very light and airy and like you can just sway along. And it really, I feel like, encompasses what V presents himself publicly very well. Number 6 is from the first member to release an official album, J-Hope. That is Arson. I really enjoy a few of the more like tender tracks in Jack in the Box as well. But Arson, I would say between Arson and More, those are like the hardest sounding tracks. And I've been more drawn to Arson, especially as time has gone on. I've been able to sit with Jack in the Box for about a year and a half. And Arson, I think, through the months has been the most consistent play for me. And I think it's because I love when J-Hope gets in that true like darker zone with his vocal. It's a bit more unhinged vocally and very expressive rap deliveries. And I feel like J-Hope is a chameleon to me. He can sing, he can do softer, he can do more chill sort of rap. But when he does that sort of zone, I'm like, yes, get it, sir. Like, I just think it works really well. Number 5, this is the only member of BTS that did not release an entire album. And I'm talking about the song The Astronaut by Jin. I genuinely love this song so much. And I love that you can tell that there is definitely heavy Coldplay influence on it because Coldplay wrote it. Chris Martin definitely pieced the whole track together. And I just feel like Coldplay's done work with BTS, but it's pretty evident that like Jin and Chris Martin have maybe a deep kind of bond in a way, even though there's a language barrier. It's a very touching track. I feel like the message of The Astronaut too really suits Jin. And whenever I say suits members of BTS, I am only talking about what they publicly present. Obviously, I don't know these men, but what Jin publicly presents to like the fandom, I feel like the message of the song and the musicality, it's very endearing and it feels very true to how he views himself relationship-wise with his fans. I think it's just great. All right, number 4 is my second one from Indigo, and that is Closer. This was definitely a grower on me upon first listen. I think I said, oh, I like that, and carried on. The more I heard it, I was just like, no, this is a smooth, more R&B kind of feeling to it that I really love the features on it. First of all, there's 2 features, but also RM is definitely more so singing on this track and doing like the softer side of his voice. Paul Blanco's vocal is just so smooth. I don't know. There's something about the tone of that voice that just sounds so incredibly almost like comforting. I'm going to say Mahalia. I could be pronouncing that wrong. I do apologize. Everyone suits the track, and I feel like what I had grew to appreciate even more about it beyond just like the overall aura. I love the build of the track. It does build up for the ending, and it does it very, I would say almost like cautiously. Like it's not a big sudden shift by any means, but it creeps up on you. And I like that. I like the subtlety to it. Now, my top 3, the whole top 10 list was incredibly difficult to make, but the top 3, it's like a revolving door of where I would place these tracks. But I'm going to go with what I have. Number 3 feels wrong. I should put it higher. I'm going with it. Number 3 is Amygdala by Suga, Augusti, whatever you want to call him. Who that track is very personal. Even though it's a very personal track, I still think it is very relatable. But I think what I initially liked about the track, because obviously I didn't know what the lyrics all meant at first because it's very Korean heavy, but I immediately was taken with the different approach. He was singing on this track. Yes, there was rapping, but the whole chorus is like a belting kind of singing chorus, which was very different from what I was used to hearing from Suga. So I really felt like it was very evident that he was pushing his boundaries of what he's done vocally up to that point on the track. But then once I did find out what the song was about, it was just kind of like game over. I knew I adored the track. I really feel like it was one of the most vulnerable tracks he's probably done. Okay, number 2, the last member to release music was Jungkook. And I gotta say, out of all the vocalists, he gave the longest album. The song, though, that really was like my yes, you did it moment was Standing Next to You. I enjoy 7. 3D grew on me because at first I was just like, it sounds like young Justin Timberlake. Standing Next to You, though, the moment I heard that song, I immediately was like, this is what I've been waiting for Jungkook. And then I saw the choreography and I was like, absolutely, this is what I'm talking about. Like, that is everything I was wanting of Jungkook. The other songs were great. The dances were fun, but this song in particular, vocally more challenging, dance-wise, just far more intense than the other tracks, like so intense in the best way. I feel like Jungkook's performance style, from what I've seen, is pretty intense. Like whenever he does choreography, I think he is very much so like a powerful sort of dancer. So everything about Standing Next to You and kind of going into different music influence sort of eras and vibes, it felt very appropriate for him. And it felt like a superstar moment for him too. Standing Next to You is kind of like my ideal type of pop track. It hits all the marks. The performance hits all the marks. I just feel like it's a grand slam. I really love that track. Number 1, it had to be number 1. It had to be number 1 because it was, in fact, my number 1 most played track of 2023. My Spotify Wrapped informed me. That is Jimin's Like Crazy. Okay, so first of all, I'm a huge Jimin fan. I really adore his performance style. I adore his unique voice. When I first heard Set Me Free Part 2 as his like initial release track, I was a little surprised. I was like, this is not exactly the vibe I thought we were going to go down. And then Like Crazy was released as a single. And I just thought, this is exactly what I was hoping for from Jimin. It's a really fun dance. I think his performance for it is great. He got to push some choreography boundaries a little bit more than what they had been allowed to do in BTS up to the point. And I also just think the dance style combined with the very soft vocal really does suit like Jimin's whole being. Just having a very performance heavy song, still keeping that like airiness that I think Jimin does so well, while also showing off the power that he has as a performer, because I do think he also can be very powerful. It just felt like a very beautiful pop track that complemented him absurdly well. And I feel like out of all the tracks off of his album, although I enjoy them all, I do feel like Crazy is kind of like the best packaged up one to display kind of what Jimin is about. At least at this point in his career, he can continue to grow and shift and evolve as everyone does, because that's called living life. So those are my top 10 favorite. I say loosely because it's, like I said, revolving door. All the tracks are great and they all keep changing. But as of right now, that's my current top 10 favorite tracks that have been released by BTS members. I genuinely would love to know what your favorite tracks are from different members, because there is no correct answer to this. This is all just about enjoying the music the guys have produced. And I really wanted to film this now because in a couple weeks, it's like going to be official. All members are going to be in the military. They're all going to be gone for a while now. So I felt like it was the perfect time to make a video celebrating the individual music they have created. So let me know what songs you love in the comments below. Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to do so. I would really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and until my next video, bye.